Okay, I just beat it. That was insane. Holy fuck,
Yeah.
that's so hard.
Let's open the next door.
They were like so much faster than the other 2 times we fought them, and
The jumping thing was like insane.
yeah, like they do this weird little flip.
Doesn't look like there's anything here. Whoa!
What? Why are we screaming? Oh, what?
Oh,
Again, like I've never seen this part.
unfinished snatchers.
At least it healed us full way.
Yeah. This seems
Fucking-
a lot easier than the boss.
Oh, this is way easier than the boss. At least they're always in headshot position.
Yeah.
Jeez. These guys are tough.
Woo!
Of course, I didn't exactly expect them to welcome me with open arms. Okay, let's try this next door.
I'd probably be talking to myself at this point, too. I was gonna make fun of him. I'm like, no, I'd probably...
Oh.
Is she naked?
What?
They're trying to trick us, I think. Yeah, okay.
Jamie, are you all right?
Gillian, you came for me.
Are you hurt?
No, they won't lay
No.
a finger on me. Not until the new
No.
artificial skin is completed anyway.
Artificial skin research? You?
So she sounded
Gillian,
like...
I've got my memory back. All of it.
What happened? Tell me, Jamie.
They
Tell
said
me.
they'd kill him. They said they'd kill Harry. They
He's already
forced me.
dead.
I had to help them with the skin development.
They
said I had to
already
help them
killed
because
him.
the professor was ill.
I guess they
Wasn't
lied
getting
to her,
any
tricked
better.
her.
Gillian, the engineer Harry, he's our son. He's been living on his own now for 50 years.
Jamie, I'm afraid that Harry's...
There was nothing I could do. They forced me. But I can't do it anymore.
Can't do what? Make the skin?
Jamie!
The professor, he just died. He was over 100.
The professor? What? This old man?
Who's that?
Don't you remember? It's Professor Modner. Professor
Modner.
Petrovich Modner.
What? This old man is Modner?
He's been confined here for 3 years now, just to develop the Snatcher's artificial skin. Terrible. Doing that to your own father.
Whose father? Jamie, I don't have any
Whose
idea
father?
what you're
What are you
talking
talking about?
You really can't remember, can you?
No, so just say
Jamie,
it.
tell me.
Is
Tell
he
me
my
who I
father?
am. What were we doing at the Kremlin?
Are you sure you really want me to, Gillian?
Oh,
Yes.
yeah,
So
okay.
awful. But if you must know, I'll tell you.
Why wouldn't we want to know at
Try
this
to remain
point?
calm, okay?
Fucking Jamie.
Okay, what?
56
We also only
years
have 30
ago,
minutes.
You and I were involved in a top-secret Soviet project. It was still during the time of the Cold War. The gulf between East and West was as wide as ever. Everybody was worried about nukes. At that point, the world's armies were at their largest ever. Leaders still believed that a strong military meant a strong nation. There were rumors that there would be an agreement to end the production of nuclear weapons. On the other hand, the major powers like the US began to get involved in a space weapons race. But not the Soviets. The conservative despots in the Kremlin had another, completely different idea for gaining military
Fucking
superiority.
commies, dude.
A horrible plan. Something no one else would think of.
Snatchers?
At that time, the countries of the communist bloc were facing an economic crisis. Popular movements pushing for democracy were springing up all over. Communism itself was facing extinction. Facing pressure from the reformers, the Kremlin began to panic. And that's when that horrible, childish plan was launched.
And that was the Snatcher Project. Replace your enemy's leaders with puppets of your own. Then you control their governments, their economies.
Dude, this is
Take over a
so
country from the
relevant to
inside
today.
out.
Yeah.
That's right, Gillian. And to develop these robots, they assembled some of the most brilliant scientific minds from around the world.
Surely
Some of them were even
Gillian
brought in against
is
their
not
will.
one of the most
At the
brilliant.
crux of that development effort was a group called the Frankenstein Project Team. You and I were members of that team, Gillian. It was a 4-person team led by the late Professor Modner here. The robotics expert was Professor Modner himself. His son, Elijah Modner, handled genetics and microbiology. For nanobiology and picobiology, myself. And for behavioral science and psychology, you, Gillian.
Oh, that's why we're such good cops.
Was carried out at a lab in Novosibirsk, but was later moved to a secret facility under the Kremlin. At the time, the Glasnost and Perestroika movements were gaining momentum, and they rightly feared for the existence of the program if it should become known. But some of the reformers did learn of the project, and they conspired with the US to block it. Gillian, you were a CIA special agent sent by the United States to infiltrate and sabotage the project.
I was CIA?
Yes, and the government knows that.
I don't even know what that
That's why you
means.
were assigned to the Junker team.
What? Who am I?
Work on the project continued to go smoothly.
Okay.
But then, on June 6th, 1996, there was that accident. A mysterious explosion at the Chernobyl facility spread a bacterial weapon that was under development there into the atmosphere, destroying the country and the project.
Okay.
Gillian, was it you? Did you set off that explosion?
Oh my god.
What? You can't be serious.
We caused the
You think I caused the
catastrophe?
catastrophe?
Jesus.
Somehow, during the confusion, Professor Modner and our son Harry managed to get picked up by American agents. But we couldn't get out in time, you and I and Elijah. In a shelter below the Kremlin, we entered a cryogenic sleep. Our plan was to sleep there until the toxic effects of the bacteria were safely passed.
And then 48 years later, 3 years ago, we were discovered by the 17th Special Investigative Force.
Yes, but when they found us, Elijah's pod was already empty.
Oh.
Elijah Modner? That guy whose picture was in the church? The one that looks like Random?
Who's random?
That's right, Elijah is alive. Elijah is here and working on the Snatchers.
Why don't you let me finish your little story?
Jesus.
Who's there?
It's been a while, hasn't it, Jamie?
This is intense, eh?
Yes. And Gillian.
Yo, what a sick entrance. Holy fuck.
It's me, Jamie.
Elijah? Is that really you?
Random? No. Not quite.
So, you remember me, do you? I am Elijah Modnar, the only son of Professor Petrovich Modnar. I'm afraid I've grown somewhat old and feeble since we last met, however.
Elijah,
Oh.
why are you doing this?
Jesus.
Your father, Professor Modner,
Do you
he
see that?
passed
Yeah,
away a
that's
few minutes
gross.
ago.
What? My father? My father is dead?
Elijah, what
How
happened
is the
to
father
you?
alive still?
The Elijah I knew could never
they said
do
he was
anything
over
like
100.
this.
I've changed, Jamie. These 40 years have changed me.
I can't believe it. What happened to you?
What happened to me? Jamie, do I actually have to explain it to you?
Yes, please.
Jamie,
Yeah.
it's you. Your beauty is the cause of all that
Oh,
has come to pass
God.
here. 57 years ago, I was obsessed. With my research, yes. And with you, Jamie. At the time, I was still young, having just graduated with my genetic engineering degree. My father's connections got me on the team, and there, I met you. You were working as my father's assistant. Your beauty, your smile, I was stricken. I saw something in you that I never felt with women of my own country. You warmed my cold, young heart, Jamie. You opened me up, and I couldn't stop my feelings.
Elijah.
You bent me over and opened me up.
Oh, I was so happy. The political situation was crumbling around us, but every day was a joy. I gained my father's trust, and with you there watching over me, I was able to work as hard as I ever have on the project. However, my happiness did not last for long. Gillian, it was you. You showed up and all was ruined. You arrived and joined our project team. Far from home, Jamie found comfort in a man from the same land. Your relationship grew quickly, and all I could do was stand by and watch. Jamie and Gillian fell in love, were joined, and even had...
How mad he is.
Harry,
I know, he's so angry.
Even then, my feelings for you only
Why do you even
grew
show up?
stronger.
Right?
Worried
I'm
about
gonna look
how
sour
I
for the
had
camera.
moved from the project,
Yeah.
I persisted. Jamie, I always wanted to be near you. And then, the democratic movements that had consumed the rest of the Eastern Bloc spread to our country as well. The Cold War was over. The hardliners who had pushed for its development were stripped of power and the project was cancelled.
Okay.
The reformers, trying to cover up the existence of such a crazed project, ordered that all materials related to it be destroyed and that we stand trial for our actions. Jamie and Gillian were to be returned to their homeland. That's about the time that I learned that you, Gillian, that you were a CIA agent, and that you were trying to pass documents on our research to your military. The country had sold us out. I'm no politician. I couldn't care less about what happened to the country. All I cared about was my research and Jamie. And I was to lose all of that, everything. For someone so young, you cannot understand how great of a shock that was.
Elijah.
That is when I decided...
Why don't you just
I
shoot him in the
swore I would
face
see that
right now?
crazed project through to the end. At the time, the bioroids were 80% finished. The main part, their endostructure, was essentially completed. But we still were having trouble with the artificial skin, the area that Jamie and I were assigned to. We called it artificial skin, but there was of course no need to duplicate T lymphocytes, Langerhans cells, or endocrine cells. All we needed was keratinized cells and melanocytes to provide the pigment. With the artificial protein development techniques that we had in those days, full-scale synthetic cell development was very difficult. Research like this took months, years. The original project called for us to simultaneously snatch an entire country. In other words, a whole nation, or an entire city had to be snatched over the course of one night. For that reason, a powerful biological agent, which could quickly and effectively kill the population of the country, was being simultaneously developed.
Lucifer Alpha.
That's right.
Okay.
A type RAO11 virus which another team was developing. For someone like myself, who was closely involved in the project, blowing up the lab was quite a simple task.
My God, Elijah, do you know what you're saying? That explosion killed half the world's population.
I moved all the materials and records essential to the Bioroid project into the shelter and executed my plan.
There's
on
a
June
lot of
6th.
talking. Holy
After
shit.
sealing
Yeah.
the lab,
This is
I
very
brought
exposition
the two
heavy,
with me
this
to the
part.
underground shelter, and we entered a cryogenic sleep. But not before I programmed an atmospheric research satellite to transmit a wake signal when the danger from Lucifer Alpha had passed.
And 10 years later, Lucifer Alpha naturally mutated into a non-toxic form.
But the automatic revival system failed to work.
Thank you.
Oh no, it worked. Just as planned. It revived me 10 years later. A little
All
sooner
according
than
to
the two of you,
Kiyaku.
of course.
But even though you sealed the lab with the explosion,
Translators
you
know
should have been
Kiyaku
exposed.
means plan.
Why weren't you?
Ah.
Oh, I was. But by that time, the vaccine L Angels had already been developed.
So everything went just as you planned it then.
Professor, I thought you were dead.
Yes,
I
up until that
was.
point.
was.
But my real struggle was yet to come. My original plan was to revive Jamie as well, and for the two of us to finish the development of the bioroids. You, Gillian, you were to stay asleep forever. But I just couldn't bring myself to do it. Not after looking at Jamie's peaceful face there in the pod. Besides, I could never have convinced her to work with me on the project anyway. I knew the time was not yet right, so I changed the timers of your pods to permanent on.
How? How could you do such a thing?
And so
And why
for
do
the
it to
next 40
Gillian,
years,
though?
I
Just
worked
kill
alone
Gillian.
in that cold,
Yeah.
lonely room under the Kremlin, trying to complete the artificial skin for the Snatchers. For days and days, no one would visit me. I never saw the sun or felt the changing of the seasons. Still, I always had Jamie by my side. You were always there for me to talk to. Just you and I for 40 years in that dark cellar.
Oh, you poor, poor man.
Well, I don't have sympathy for
Then,
this
3
monster.
years ago, my
Yeah.
research was finally completed.
He killed half the fucking world's
First,
population,
I snatched
and
the
now he's doing the
Siberian Special
Snatcher thing.
Investigative Forces to establish a transport route for the Snatchers. And then, to test the effect of large-scale Snatch operations, I chose Neokobe City to be my experimental sample. Neokobe is cut off from the surrounding areas, a sort of miniature country in itself, making it a perfect test site. And since it's a melting pot of various races, it would also allow me to gather extensive data on Snatcher modification and operational techniques. In addition, the element of suspicion or mistrust, which runs deep in Japanese culture, was another reason I chose this site.
But your test revealed a critical flaw in your machine's artificial skin.
Yes, quite unexpected, I'm afraid. All my research for 40 years. I gathered data and worked day and night to find a solution, but nothing seemed to work.
So that's why you decided to bring Professor Modner here, right?
That's correct. I discovered my father in one of the government's hospitals. He was old, but still very sound of mind. Naturally, he would not cooperate with me.
Of course not. He'd never become involved in something like that.
So,
Wasn't
unable
he,
to
though?
receive his assistance, I decided that I had to have yours. But a mistake on my part allowed both you and Gillian to be taken into custody by the authorities first.
Just what are you trying to accomplish, Elijah? You must know you can never get Jamie back.
I'm only interested in discovering what I can of the human animal. In the past, it was because of Jamie. My motive is different now.
It sounds like you're just suffering from the wild arrogance that corrupts so many scientists.
Humans are such weak creatures. No matter how much they trust one another, the tiniest speck of suspicion can destroy it all. Look at how the Snatcher problem has caused such wild unrest. No matter how much science advances or how high we set our
Okay.
ideas, we
We're still
eventually begin
talking.
to suspect each other, to hate each other, and then to kill each other. The Snatchers are nothing more than a tool for bringing out this reaction. I am simply using the Snatchers to elicit the true nature of the human animal. I think this experiment has shown me the limits of human society. I sincerely doubt it will be able to reach any greater level of prosperity on its own. If human society ever hopes to reach greater heights, what is needed is an absolute leader, a firm ruler who isn't affected by these trivial episodes of mistrust.
You're crazy if you think people would ever obey Snatchers.
Of course they wouldn't. But if they don't know, they cannot object. There has been a time in every age that the people have longed for a god to lead them. As long as they give the people no reason to suspect them, then they can easily become their gods, indeed, a new race of super beings. We are almost there. Once we perfect the artificial skin, Snatchers will transcend man to become this planet's true human beings.
But you'll never get your perfect skin now. Professor Modner is dead.
I no longer have any use for my father. I have a sample of the new skin he developed. Once I've analyzed it, I'll be able to make as much as I need. Or if need be, we could simply culture the keratinized cells, epithelial cells, and melanocytes in the quantities that we need.
What are you talking about? How could you get a sample of perfected artificial skin?
Why don't you take a look at this? We found this in the rubble of Queen's Hospital.
Are you seeing this?
Yeah. Random.
Random?
Random was a Snatcher.
An acquaintance of yours?
You're not blown away?
He's a Snatcher?
That term isn't exactly...
I guess he went rogue?
This bioroid
they'll
was
explain
constructed
it.
by my father without my knowledge. He modeled it after me in my youth. He built it right here in this facility.
That's why it
Not
looked
only
like a
that,
painting.
He programmed it to destroy Snatchers. This bioroid caused me serious difficulties. It's designed and built far better than my Snatchers. The machine itself thought it was human. My father input memories for it all.
So this
the
is
way
like
back to
heavy
childhood.
Blade Runner shit.
Those two
Yeah.
are apparently mine. Haven't you yet realized? Random Hajil is Elijah Modner spelled backwards.
Oh!
How like my father, silly old man.
Oh!
He did virtually overnight what I could not do in 40 years of effort.
Yeah, you're a piece of shit.
Furthermore,
Shoot him, waste
he
him.
makes a bioroid so perfect, even the bioroid itself believes itself to be real. What's more, the cells of the skin he developed are self-replicating. Once in place, no further transplants or culturing is necessary.
Is he dead?
Its main and locomotive systems are completely shut down. It's just scrap now. But the artificial skin is being kept alive. This we need. With this, we can move to phase 2 of our plan of full-scale infiltration
Poor
of the
Random.
world's major nations.
The summit's already over. You'll never succeed.
What does the summit
Oh,
mean?
God.
Nothing holds us back now that we have this.
There's too
purpose.
much.
We can go anywhere we want.
This is a long
No
one.
way to
What's
tell
that
us
nostalgia critic
I
joke
will
about
have
exposition?
free control over the world.
I think they just do that little song exposition.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Meaning, my will alone will decide the course of human history.
You egomaniac. Do you think you can snatch the entire population?
There's a fully automated Snatcher factory under the Kremlin. Even as we speak, scores of new Snatchers are being born.
But no matter how hard
Yikers.
you try, you won't be able to snatch the people's heart and soul. What do you hope to gain from this anyway?
Well, why do they have to snatch people? Just
Jamie,
make
the human race is composed of fools.
fools.
I'm different. I will be its savior. Indeed, not just of mankind, but of all life on the planet.
I'm afraid that won't be possible.
Oh.
Metal!
Oh!
Oh.
10 minutes, this church will be struck by a phased particle beam. I am guiding the beam from the attack satellite using GPS and 50
Did you see that though?
navigation
Metal had
satellites.
C4 all over him.
Everything in a 2 to 3 kilometer radius from me will be
He's just like, I am a
Stop
bomb.
this foolishness now. I will not have my research destroyed by some souped-up pocket calculator.
Oh.
Metal! What happened at the summit?
The delegates, worried about the Snatcher menace, voted unanimously to allow the use of nuclear weapons on the city. The military is presently imposing a quarantine on Neo-Kobe.
What? Do they intend to kill everybody?
The populace is in a state of panic. However, they have agreed to lift the quarantine if this church is struck by the phased particle beam. This is our last chance. I will handle things here. Gillian, Jamie, you two must flee.
You insignificant mass of metal. You'll never...
One move and I detonate. Gillian, run!
Metal, this is crazy!
Just run,
A
idiots.
single Snatcher, get out of here. And this new artificial skin has to be destroyed as well.
I will not allow some talking scrap pile to get away with this. If you were the aiming point for the beam, then I'll just have you thrown out of here. Grab this little one and take him out of here.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
Get your gun ready.
Uh-oh. You didn't do anything.
Cowardly
About to
little
shoot now?
robot.
You always were a real pain in the
Oh!
butt.
Eric, it's random. He's back.
What's that?
Oh, Jamie, you're an idiot. It's right in front of you.
What? How?
Oh,
You're supposed to be deactivated.
Oh.
I don't go down that easy, old man.
Stop this foolish.
Let's try to make our final moments peaceful, shall we? And you Snatchers, you touch the little guy and the old man's head comes off. Random! I've always hated being used. Why don't you watch the final act with me?
Gillian, you only have 5 minutes. The turbo cycle
Run,
just
Gillian.
on standby.
Run.
for God's sake, everybody's fucking just standing there with their
I'm Elijah
thumb up their arse.
Yeah.
I'm your original.
I don't care if I'm an original or a copy or what. You and I are gonna die right here. If we both die, there won't be a copy anymore now, will there?
The stupid logic of a simpleton, of a machine.
Whatever it is, it's my will.
But you want...
Machines have no will. Machines cannot sacrifice themselves.
We'll see about that.
You have 4 minutes. You must go. And don't forget to take care of the factory under the Kremlin.
Stop!
Gillian, even if these memories in my head are fiction...
Yeah, I know what you mean. Our memories of our time together are all too real, Random.
Gillian, you become one hell of a junker.
Gillian,
Can
it
you
has been most
please
recreational being your
leave?
Oh, metal.
If you can, try to pick up the pieces for me, okay? Like we did for Little John.
Little John?
Aww.
Oh. Okay, Metal.
Aw, poor guy.
You only have 3 minutes.
Thanks. Thanks, you two. Jamie, come on.
Jamie's already gone.
Yeah.
I got the fuck out of there.
No! Don't let her go! No!
You pathetic old fool. You don't even know how to love someone.
You
Jesus.
stupid machine! What is that idiotic grin supposed to mean?
By snatching you, I'm finally gonna get my real self back.
Aww.
Random, there's less than 1 minute to go. Thanks to you, everything will be fine.
You don't owe me any thanks. Sorry to get you involved in such a big job. You did great. You're a hell of a junker.
3,
You said that to Gillian.
here it comes!
Later, kid!
No, this is like Akira shit. Pew!
Oh,
That looks exactly like Akira. Only 100,000 people died. Hey, I think this is the end. We might as well just
think
keep it
you're right.
going, yeah.
yeah. No, look at that. Yeah, I see. Look at that.
So you're really going, aren't you?
It's our responsibility, too. Besides, if I go to Moscow, I may get some of my memory back. And if that happens, I'll be
Well, you
able
just
to
had
love
all
you
your
even
entire
more than
life
I do
explained to
now.
you, so you should be okay.
Wait for me. I want to be with you, but first I've got to destroy this terrible factory of theirs.
But wait a minute, we promised to date
Jamie,
Micah.
when I get back, let's try living together again. What do you say?
Aww.
We'll be waiting for you too.
Katrina! Mika! You're here too?
Eric!
You better be happy, Buster, with all these beautiful women seeing you off.
I'm happy you came.
No
let
Uggies for
introduce
me.
My wife.
Jamie Seed. I suppose it's a little odd introducing myself a second time, though.
What do you mean? You've never met them before, have you?
What are you talking about, Gillian? We're good friends.
What?
Huh? Since when?
Uh-oh.
It's the first time I've met her in person, but I've spoken with her on the video phone a lot of times.
What? Have you guys been talking about me behind my back?
Wah, wah.
Wait, how are they all friends? Oh, okay.
We
Well,
get it.
really sorry for the... Okay. This kid had such a rough time. She lost almost everything practically overnight. She's done a really great job. I owe her a lot of thanks. Aw, this is so
Look at Micah's
nice.
little cute little bow.
Try and learn more about when Malaysia decided. How lonely it was being home alone all the time, and she told me that Jamie was always worried about me.
So I gave her a video phone call.
I've done everything. Did I not talk to everyone?
Well, you gotta do things multiple times.
With even Alice gone, I was really lonely. Katrina. Before I knew it, we really became close, didn't we? Well, why did you shoot me down all those times? Just being
Yikes.
friends.
With his wife right
His
there.
wife is right there! You have a warped mind sometimes, you know.
Well, you're the one who said it.
Yeah. They're both so easy to talk to. It's like I've got two real sisters now. Aww, everyone's friends.
They end up just having like a lesbian three-way.
While you're away, I hope it's okay for... Aww.
Where's Metal, though?
Metal's dead, Eric.
No, we were gonna save his parts.
Eric! Did you see the fucking giant laser beam take out part of the city? What is going to live?
Metal survived. He's fine.
Okay, Eric. And so did Random. Random's okay, too. You're such a romantic. Oh, more talking.
So have they finalized what they're going to do about Junker operations? I suppose this will end up being our last mission, huh?
Well, originally they were planning on disbanding the team, but now they've decided to keep us in business.
Dude, the team's all dead.
So that means...
That's right. We've been designated as one of the government's special police divisions. That puts us above the regular cops.
So the government has decided that crime by machines poses a bigger threat than
Mika's
crime
just
by
like
humans from
caving
here
in
on
an
out,
innocent
huh?
skull
They've
with
chosen
like
a
a
new
baton.
So when you get back, you'll get to meet the new head honcho.
Well, it's comforting to know I've got a place I can come back to.
Oh, is there a Snatcher too?
Maybe.
The Snatching? Have a straight trip, Second Lieutenant Seed. I'm a second lieutenant as well, so let's try to work well together when you get back. What? I'm a second lieutenant? How come my rank is even lower than what I had in the army?
Whatever you do, just
Why
come
wasn't that
home
recorded?
safe, okay? When you get back from this job, you still have a dinner date to keep with me, you know.
Don't worry. I won't forget my promises to
His
either
wife
of you.
is right
Oops,
there.
I almost
Yeah.
forgot. Of course, I
Weird.
want to spend some private moments with my wife, too, huh?
Oh yeah, I want to fucking bang
What's
her.
wrong, Jamie?
Is Jamie a Snatcher?
Harry and I will
Harry's
be waiting for you
hat.
to get home.
Oh.
That's Harry's hat.
We can do it this time, Gillian. Not some fake couple like before, but with love and trust.
The Kairos sleep made your ovaries
care, Gillian.
completely useless, Jamie.
I'll see you, Jamie.
You are barren.
Wait for me! Take me with you!
Eric!
You?
He's a Sega system. What the fuck?
To work with, so this is just a temporary body.
Isn't that fucking stupid?
Here, Sega CD for now.
So they found your memory chip in one piece, eh?
Random protected it from the blast of the beam.
Aw.
Random, huh? Wait a sec.
That's so
I've heard
dumb
that
that it's a
sneeze somewhere
Sega
before.
CD.
Really?
I know.
I didn't hear anything. Anyway, I want to know if you'll take me with you.
That person sneezing was,
Please take me with you.
Napoleon.
yeah.
Hurry up and get on board, partner.
Yes, sir,
Uh,
Gillian.
Snatcher 2, Escape to Russia.
I wonder if they ever made a sequel.
I don't know. That's what Kojima should work on next.
Yeah.
So I think that was it.
Seems like it.
Throughout history,
Oh.
suspicion has always bred conflict. The real conflict, though, resides in people's hearts. This conflict has just begun.
So, thoughts?
I liked it. It was a good game. The ending was like, I feel like
Too
the ending
much.
could have been better. It was just a lot of exposition.
Yeah. Well,
But-
yes, a lot of the stuff that the old man explained, it's just kind of like, we're smart people. We got it.
Yeah.
Like, or like when he's like, we didn't need to make these skin cells and this skin cell and this skin cell, but we needed to make this skin. It's like we don't need to know that. That's just
Yeah.
like, I don't know. It's too much explaining, too much exposition. For me personally, I really like this game. I think it's a really great story, a really great game. But for me, it just gets worse as it progresses. Like, Chapter 1 is the best. Chapter 2 is pretty good. And Chapter 3, like, that was nothing. It was just talking.
Yeah, exactly. The whole third disc.
It's not even discs. I don't think it is disc. I think it was just on one disc.
Oh, it was all one disc.
Yeah, there's no part where I had to, like, fake putting in a disc, but maybe the Sega CD did it on its own. But usually ROM files are broken up if they do shit like that.
Yeah.
So, yeah, like, honestly, like, this is a fucking great game. 8 out of 10, 9 out of 10. Like, there's really nothing wrong with it. It's just the ending is just a little too much talky.
Mm-hmm.
And I think, like, they didn't really need to have Gillian and Jamie be, like, part of why the Snatchers exist and stuff.
Yeah.
Like, if I were to write this story, yeah, have Random be the connection of being, like, this Snatcher that thinks he's a person. But I think it could have just been better just Gillian just being a guy doing his job. I guess they wanted to make it a little connected. Like, the hero, like a lot of anime, right? It has the heroes connected to the villain in some way. Like Bleach, the main character is part of the... He's like a part of the demon. He's like a demon or a half demon or some shit. I don't fucking remember.
Yeah.
But, like, in recent memory, Attack on Titan, the guy turns into a Titan, right? So, a lot of Japan writing, they like to have that connection. And I guess it is inspired from Blade Runner, and the whole thing about Blade Runner was, you don't know if Harrison Ford is a replicoid or not, or whatever the fuck they're called.
A replicant.
Yeah, a replicant. So, yeah, I understand the wanting to make it a connection, but I don't know. I think it's just like a little too crazy having them being put under sleep for 50 years, and they worked on making the Snatchers, and he was taken to Neo Kobe so he could remember, and Again, though, I really did like the whole thing, like, of Harry being his kid.
Yeah.
They didn't even go into it, right? Like, they never talked about that. They didn't even know while Harry was alive. So that was cool. I think it's just a little too overly complicated for my taste. That's just me.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I mean, there were some plot points that I guess could have been cut out or simplified, but I don't know, overall it was an impressive game.
I think if they remade this
good.
game and kind of still made it like the whole menu system, but like added a bunch of shit, like the ability to actually go on dates and like side little things you could do with metal in the city and shit, that'd be fucking amazing. Like, this is a perfect game to remake, because I feel
side quests would have been nice.
Yeah, I feel like there's a lot of limitation, right, with disk space and stuff. So Kojima, man, if you're listening, dude, like, we fucking remake this shit, man.
Yeah, you should.
I don't know if Konami still owns it or not. They're kind of not on good terms, right?
Yeah, that's true.
Konami got rid of their fucking the guy that was doing all their best shit, and they got rid of him. Fucking morons. Anyways, that's a topic for another video, I guess. Well, if you watched this series, thanks a lot. Subscribe, comment. We're gonna play more games.
We'll see you next time.
What do you? We could play. Eric, I usually ask you, actually, at the end of these things, what do you want to play next? Earthbound, Police Knots, which is another game like this made by Kojima, or that one game I was telling you about where you're, like, solving a crime by, like, watching VHS tapes?
I don't know. The VHS one sounds cool, but so does Earthbound, so I don't know. We can think about it.
Yeah. Well, regardless, we'll see you next time, viewers.
Bye, viewers.